Well, I'm back again, Brock, because I feel your video is as craptastic as your other ones. Brock, atheism is not a belief system. The only qualifications one needs to be an atheist is that one lacks belief in a god. There are conservative atheists and liberal atheists. There are atheists that believe in free will and those that don't. So your pathetic attempt to profile the atheist as a soft-nosed liberbeast is utterly false and founded upon closed-minded ignorance. What you don't understand is that morals do need to be fluid and elastic. Otherwise, we'd still stone gays and have slavery, which your Bible supports, by the way. Once again, I'm afraid you're confusing real life with the fictional imaginary Brockland which exists in your head. Plus, what part of, if you don't believe this exact religion, you'll burn in a fiery pit of death for all eternity is freedom? I'm afraid that what's in your head does have a bearing on what you do. It makes sense. After all, genetics control every part of our being. However, humans do have the ability to make a choice to a certain degree, yet you can't say the mind is completely free from genetic influence. That's just silly. Oh, and by the way, said intellectual godless revolution that you think is apparently so awful and evil has allowed humanity to do such previously impossible things like fly and cure smallpox. If said revolution had never occurred, we'd still be living in the Dark Ages. You can see by history what happens when religion controls society. It results in a period of intellectual darkness, disease, and death. The problem with your little points is that cause and effect remains truth in every situation. There is a reason why one is more apt to make the wrong choice, or over the right one in some cases. I hate to burst your bubble, Brock, but some people really don't have control of the way they act, and insanity is indeed a fact of reality. Is it really fair to charge these folks the same way as a sane man if they, by the nature of their mental illness, really don't have a choice? We differ somewhat on our views of the justice system. I, for one, see it as a more way to rehabilitate than a way to punish. If everyone has a choice, as you say, there are ways to teach people to make the right choices. Brock, psychology and psychiatry are not junk science. You should talk about things that you understand, and not things you don't. There is such thing as insanity. There is such thing as madness. Believe me, I know. Unjust. By what means do you judge a society as just? Personally, I feel the society of your Bible was incredibly unjust. You had God commanding the Israelis to kill entire nations of people, men, women, and children, all because they didn't believe in the right God. How is that just? Religious preferences are largely determined by one's birth, after all, not by any sort of choice. I mean, if you were born in India, you'd be a devout Hindu. So, I feel a society like this, in which all who are different are burned at the stake, would be horrible and far worse than the society we currently inhabit. The problem with your discrediting of nature versus nurture thing is that such statements have loads of evidence to back them up. You forget that all the choices that we make have a reason. Like I said, I'm not sure of the case you're referring to next, so I can't really comment. But I'm positive you're distorting the story to suit your own means, like you always do. There is no innate understanding. Otherwise, we'd all have the same concept of morals. However, we can see that morals vary from society to society. For example, in Aztec society, human sacrifice was considered moral. They obviously didn't share the same moral concept as society of today, where such acts would be considered cruel and unusual punishments. So I can't see how you can claim some kind of an innate moral law. And if said moral standard was even needed, I definitely wouldn't base it on your Bible. Do you really want to be killed for wearing fabrics of two different kinds, or not shaving your beard? Go back to Rockland, Rock. I'm sure your baseless contradictory speeches would be more appreciated there.